Good afternoon, my name is Professor Hasselheimer from UNC, and I've got a rare treat for you. This here, look at him. In his natural habitat, this here Canis lupus familiaris, also known as a black husky.
That's a German Shepherd.
No, sir, that is clearly a black husky right there. And I shall attempt at domesticating such animal, which has never been done in the history of the domestication of canines. Now, I have here an object, and what I tend to do is I shall throw said object and see if this undomesticated animal will go and retrieve said object. And in the Latin, it's referred to as axamia.
We should just call it fetch.
Or in the English vernacular, you can call it fetch. Yes, sir. So, we shall attempt to play axamia with the dog. Axamia! Yes, first step of domestication is complete. Come here! Okay. Well, that did not fully work because the animal has not been fully domesticated. However, what I shall do now is I will attempt to take him into custody. Let's see how it works. Now I shall attempt to take said canine into custody. Oh. Where is that? Come here! Get it. Get it. Come here. Come here. Stay. Down. Stay. Oh, we shall be right back! This is proof that any canine can be domesticated, especially the long black-haired Lupus Canis familiaris.
That's still a German Shepherd.
You don't want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel. And in this huddle, baby, we're going to discuss our North Carolina Tar Heels in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl matchup with the UCONN Huskies on December 28th at 11 a.m. on ESPN. But before we get into the intricate details of our last football game of the season, man, I just want to take a second to say that I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. It's hard to believe that we're wrapping up year 2 of football at the Tar Heel Huddle, man. It has been an absolute blast. Shout out to the Huddle Hooligans for all that they do, helping me keep these daggum lights on, man. And if you're interested in supporting the channel, it's a fantastic way of helping your boy out, man. It's only $4.99 a month, and you get access to the Hooligan Discord and early access to a lot of the videos, man. Great group of guys, and I enjoy talking to them throughout the week for sure. $325 score prediction and call-in show, Friday, December 27th at 8 p.m. You call into the show, tell me your thoughts about this football game, and predict the correct score to win $325. It is the last chance of the year. And of course, we will be having a live reaction and watch party December 28th at 11 a.m. So you make sure to come hang out with your favorite North Carolinian to see if the Heels can snap this bowl losing skid. And that'll be the perfect segue into this matchup, as this will be the University of North Carolina's 6th straight bowl appearance. However, they've dropped 4 straight since a 55-13 shellacking of Temple in the 2019 Military Bowl. This will also be UNC's 39th bowl appearance as a program, with a 15-23 record in said bowl games. Now, UConn has also dropped 3 straight bowl games dating back to 2010. And the Huskies' last appearance was in a 2022 loss to Marshall in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Their last bowl win was in 2009 as the Huskies beat up on the South Carolina Gamecocks in the PapaJohns.com Bowl, which you already know how I feel about South Carolina, so that is great to hear. This will be UConn's 7th bowl game as a program, and they currently have a 3-4 record. And the last thing that I want to cover prior to getting into this football game is I want to take a look at the transfers and opt-outs. Is obviously here in 2024. Unfortunately, this is the era of college football that we're in, and we got to look at them if we're going to actually have an accurate picture of this football game. But there's a ton of movement for Carolina. Backup offensive lineman Eli Sutton is headed to Austin Peay. Backup offensive lineman Zach Greenberg is headed to James Madison. Backup offensive lineman Andrew Rosinski is headed to Georgia Tech. Starting left tackle Howard Sampson, he's taken his talents or lack thereof to Texas Tech. And backup offensive lineman Ja'Kiah Leftwich is now heading down to UCF. Running back Jordan Louis, running back Caleb Hood, quarterback Connor Harrell, defensive tackle Travis Shaw, starting kicker Noah Burnett, defensive back Tyrone Stewart, and backup offensive lineman Malik McGowan. And now, actually today, backup quarterback Michael Merdinger are still in the transfer portal without a destination at the time of this video. And then, the All-American running back Omarion Hampton, defensive tackle Jahvaree Ritzie, and edge rusher Kamen Rucker are foregoing the bowl game and entering the NFL draft themselves, man. So all 3 of those players are obviously huge contributors for Carolina. And then you got obviously quarterback Max Johnson, tight end Bryson Nesbitt, and kicker Liam Boyd, who are listed as out due to injury, according to sportsbookreview.com. And the last important huge factor here for UNC, if you will, is that as we all know, Mac Brown was fired. Freddie Kitchens, the former Cleveland Browns head coach, was named the interim coach for the bowl game. And then obviously the great Bill Belichick will be the guy. Now, the UConn Huskies quarterback, Nick Evers, is questionable. This is one of their backup guys. And quarterback Tucker McDonald is listed out with an injury. Running back Darrell Robinson, who totes the rock a couple of times for him, kind of their biggest opt-out, if you will, to this point. He will not play. Wide receiver Brock Montgomery, defensive lineman Dalmont Wardine, cornerbacks Javarius Sims, Jordan Wright, Malcolm Bell, and Reggie Ackles, and then punter Nathaniel Wallace-Dilling are listed in the transfer portal according to that same site. So that will bring us finally into this football game. Now, it's a shame that you have to do that, like I said, but knowing who's actually going to be available is pretty important when we're talking about who's going to win and the matchups and all those things of that nature. Now, when the North Carolina Tar Heels take on the Huskies of UConn, it will be the 4th overall meeting between these two schools, and UNC currently holds a 3-0 record against UConn, with the last meeting being a 12-10 win by the Tar Heels up at UConn back in 2009. Man, ugly football game that came down to basically E.J. Wilson getting tackled in the end zone, which resulted in the official calling a safety, and that was literally the difference in the game. And that brings us finally to the 2024 Wasabi Fenway Bowl. And we'll start with the UConn Huskies, who are led by head coach Jim Mora, who has a 17-20 overall record at UConn. He was 46-30 at UCLA from 2012 to 2017, with an overall record between those two schools of 63-50. Now, the Huskies' leading passer is the 6'4", 225-pound senior quarterback Joe Fignano, who has 1,480 yards passing, 18 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions. He's only completing 56.3% of his passes, but you can see that he does not turn the ball over very much. UConn's leading rusher is the 5'11", 210-pound sophomore running back Cam Edwards, who has 756 rushing yards on 129 carries, good for 5.9 yards per carry and 7 touchdowns. And then their leading receiver is the 6 foot, 185-pound junior wide receiver, Skylar Bell, who has 783 yards receiving on 47 receptions with 4 touchdowns. Now, like we mentioned earlier, the North Carolina Tar Heels will be led in this game by interim head coach Freddie Kitchens. Their leading passer is the 6'1", 230-pound senior quarterback, Jacoby Criswell, who has thrown for 2,452 yards, 15 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Now, Carolina's leading available running back, because Omarion Hampton, the All-American obviously declared for the NFL draft, is going to be the 5'11", 215-pound freshman running back, Davion Bullet Goss, who has 314 yards rushing on 62 carries, which is good for 5.1 yards per carry. And he's also got 4 touchdowns on the year. And the Heels' leading receiver is a 6'2", 210-pound senior wide receiver, J.J. Jones, who has 570 yards on the year with 34 receptions and 6 touchdowns. And now that we've taken a look at the individual statistics, let's take a look at the team statistics. And we can see the UConn is averaging 32.3 points per game and allowing 23.8 points per game. They're also averaging 198.3 rushing yards per game and giving up 135.3. And the Huskies are throwing for 202.3 yards per game and giving up 223.8 passing yards per game. North Carolina is also averaging 32.3 points per game, but they're giving up 28.2 points per game. They're rushing for an average of 189.5 and giving up 144.4 themselves, while passing for 233.9 and giving up 232.6. So now that we've looked at the individual statistics, and now that we've looked at the team statistics, let's take a look at Russ's 3 keys to a Tar Heel victory. And key number 1, run the damn ball, bro. The Heels 100% have to get the run game established often and early against the Huskies. As was aforementioned, All-American running back Omarion Hampton has opted out of the bowl game and declared for the NFL draft. And Caleb Hood has entered the transfer portal himself. So that places the load squarely on the shoulders of freshman Davion Goss to get this thing rolling. And Charleston French will probably get some additional carries on this one as well. Carolina does have to replace starting tackle, left tackle Howard Sampson. But I do believe, I haven't heard anything different, that Willie Lampkin, Austin Blasky, Aiden Banfield, and Trevion Green will be on the field for the Heels. Key number 2, stop the daggum run. UConn's offense is clearly not just going to stink and light things up through the air. Carolina has got to put this game in Fagnano's hands in frigid Boston and make him throw this thing around, bro. There is no reason the Heels shouldn't be able to control this line of scrimmage against the independent UConn Huskies. And key number 3, don't lose on special teams, man. Noah Burnett and Liam Boyd will not be playing in this football game to the best of my knowledge, which leaves the kicking duties to Osada. Could potentially be an interesting component to this game, man. That means that we need to score touchdowns in this one and not leave this thing up to kicking field goals, especially considering it's going to potentially be fairly crappy weather. And you already know what we do after that, baby. That's going to lead us into the prediction portion of the show. And without further ado, we're going to start things off with Little Russ predicts the Heels. Little Russ, get in here. Little Russ, tell the people who's going to win, North Carolina or UConn in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl.
It's going to be 28-21 North Carolina.
28-21 North Carolina. There you have it. So now that we've taken a look at Little Russ and what he thinks about this football game, what do you think your boy thinks about this one, man? Well, The ESPN matchup indicator gives the North Carolina Tar Heels a 62.1% chance at beating the Huskies, and the Heels are currently 2.5-point favorites. Mid-30s and rain in the forecast, dude. It could make this football game one that literally is won on the ground. Could it be a sloppy football game? And as you can imagine, UConn will probably have the advantage in the fact that they play in those type of climates much more often than Carolina does. But Carolina still has the more talented roster from top to bottom, despite all the opt-outs and the transfers. I think that the Belichick hire has brought the juice into this program, and the Heels that are playing in this one, they know that Coach Belichick is going to be watching. So there's not going to be no letdown, man. This ain't going to be one of them games where the guys don't show up. They have an incoming coach, and they know that he is going to be looking at this game film. So if you thought that there was going to be some guys that don't leave it all on the field in this one, I would probably say that you'd be wrong, man. This is almost an audition for 2025. And I expect the Heels to play pretty hard. Weather is probably going to play a little factor in this one. Probably be a whole bunch of running the daggone football, man. But I'm going to take the Heels to win this football game in a close one, 28-24. So you let me know, Tar Heel Nation, and any Huskies in here, what you think about this football game, and put it down in the comment section. If you haven't already, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you for the call-in show, baby. It's a great day to be a Tar Heel, and we'll catch you on the next one, Tar Heel Nation.